Well, happy Wednesday, everybody. I am so excited you're here. We are working on week 4, and today is Wednesday, July 31st. It is the last week of July. Can you believe how fast the summer has gone through? Today, as we are working and talking about things happen in threes, one of the things that I noticed when I was doing my readings and talking and walking through the Bible was God uses 3 days a lot. And he uses 3 days from Genesis to Jesus. And he uses it a lot because I know that we are just mere humans. And sometimes we need things broken down as simply as possible so that we can understand it as easily as possible. And as humans, we sometimes have the patience of, the ant, I guess. We want things as fast as possible, as immediate as possible, and a response as quick as possible. And God has to continually remind us to slow our roll down. And so 3 days is often a good reminder of that. Remember, it took 3 days for Abraham and Isaac to walk up that mountain where God gave Abraham the promise of Isaac. It took 3 days for Jesus to rise from Friday to Sunday. And Friday to Sunday can be a long time to wait. When we are waiting for something, 3 days can be a very long time, but look at what can happen at the end of that 3 days, our miracle. And so sometimes in those 3 days that we're waiting, we just need to learn a lot of patience, or we learn what God wants us to do in that promise. So sometimes between the promise and the fruition, those 3 days is what he wants us to do. And sometimes it's more of the expression of 3 days to wait and to wait on his promise to come to fruition. But we just need to know that it's going to come. And so 3 days is a lot of a big deal about what happens in threes. Sometimes we as a human just need to wait, but the promise is coming. So all right, let's get through it. 3 things happen in threes. So today is, and as always, July 30th. I was still hoping it was June. My last day before I go back to pre-planning for my school is today. So I was hoping for a little extra time. Again, on my 3 people down here, I'm putting in the names of 3 people that are going through and were recently rehired. So I'm thinking about them. Today, I'm blessing them with food so they don't have to cook dinner tonight. So we're cooking and going and making 3 stops today so they don't have to worry about it. Remember, you want to bless them. You want to take the load off their lap. When we take the load off with somebody else, sometimes our load is lessened. We want to work on our verse for the second part. So we want to remember to say a verse, read a verse, write a verse, apply a verse. So today's verse happens to be 1 Timothy 5-8. Anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So remember, after we've read it, we want to write it, and then we want to talk about how that verse applies to us over here. And then finally for today, we want to talk about and write a letter to Jesus during the month of July. So make sure that when you're just like we used to do in elementary school, pretend it's just a little pen pal. Talk about something funny that happened, or share a story, or share an experience, or share something. Just share it with the Lord. Dear Lord, share it. And sometimes when we're just trying to get a closer friendship or develop a closer bond with somebody, sometimes we just have to share something with them. Alrighty, guys, that takes care of our Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.